everyone. Welcome to the LTB Show. My name is Oluwa Gbemisola and I will be your host. Welcome to my show, people. The LTB Show is an acronym for Let's Talk Branding. Let's Talk Branding is an affiliate of Brand with Gbemi, and Brand with Gbemi is a business and personal branding agency founded by my humble self, Oluwa Gbemisola. So here is the first episode of the first season of the LTB Show, and I'm super excited to be doing this with you all, as well as super grateful to the Almighty for making this a dream come true. Like I stated in the pre-listen, we had a slight back and forth, but go tell somebody to tell everybody that the LTB Show season 1 is here. Okay, people, on the first episode of the first season of the show, I would be your host and I would equally be your guest, right? While on subsequent episodes, I'll be having amazing minds, amazing individuals, amazing experts come rub mind with me on various concepts of business. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go on a quick break, and when we return, the LTB Show continues. Stay with me. Welcome back to the show, people. I remain your delectable host, Oluwa Gbemisola, and it's still the LTB Show season 1. Okay, before we went on the break, I was saying on this first episode of the first season of the LTB Show, I will be your host and I would equally be your guest. While on subsequent episodes, I'll be having amazing people come rub mind with me on various concepts of business, right? So the topic of consideration on the first episode of the first season of the LTB Show is effective brand communication. As a matter of fact, myself and my team, we took our time to actually pick this topic as the first topic of consideration, because at the end of this episode, if everything I'll be saying, you, my dear audience, don't have a 100% grasp of everything, then the essence of the show has been forfeited. The essence of the show has not been fulfilled. That is why we ensure that the first topic of consideration is effective brand communication. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be diving into what effective brand communication entails, right? We'll start from the simple to the complex. We'll start from communication. What is communication? First, communication is what we can't do without. Communication is what we do every day. Communication is what we do day in, day out. Right now, I'm communicating. You, my dear listeners at home, wherever you are, be it in your house, your office, wherever you are communicating, either verbally, either through sign language, either through visuals or graphics, you are communicating, right? Communication is what we can do without. Right now, from the layman's perspective, communication is the dynamic process of exchanging information, ideas, thoughts, and emotions between a sender and a receiver. I'll take that again. Communication is the dynamic process of exchanging information, ideas, thoughts, emotions between a sender and a receiver. I would like us to take note of two keywords: sender and receiver. Okay, people, let me cite the show as an example. Right now, what I'm doing right now is communicating. I'm communicating, right? I am the sender. You, my dear audience, listening through whatever channel, be it YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, whatever channel you are listening through, you are the receiver, right? Now, what I'm saying, what I'm spilling out of my mouth is the message, right? And the channel through which you are listening through is the medium. So there's the sender, there's the receiver, and in between we have the message and the medium. That's the channel through which the message is being passed across. So that's what communication means. Moving on, people, brand communication. What is brand communication? Brand communication is a strategy a company uses to share its ideas, identity, values, message, mission, and vision with the world. I'll take that again. Brand communication is a strategy a company, a business, a brand uses to share their identity, their values, their message, their mission and vision with the world. It includes every way a business interacts with people, such as advertisements, social media posts, website text, and customer service experience. While the aim and the main goal is to build trust and create a strong, positive feeling about the brand or business in the minds of the target audience. The aim of brand communication is to build trust, create a strong, positive feeling about the brand or business in the minds of the target audience. Moving on, people. Brand communication is key to creating connection between your company, your brand, your business, and your audience. Brand communication is very, very important. It helps to create connection between your own brand and your target audience, right? And that is because consumers make purchasing decisions based on a known brand, right? And if you've not been able to communicate your brand's identity, your brand value, your brand message effectively, your consumers, your clients, your prospects, they won't be able to have a brand recall when it's time for them to make a purchasing decision, right? Okay, let us do this test. You, my audience, I want you to think of a brand right now. Any brand. That very brand that came to your mind has been able to effectively communicate their brand message and identity to you. That is why you can actually recall their brand name instantly. That is what brand communication does, right? So when brand communication is done effectively, it helps your consumers, your clients, your customers, including prospects. It helps them to be able to recall your brand name whenever they are in between making purchasing decisions. Moving on, people. Good brand communication helps your customers, your clients, prospects think of you first when they need your products as well as your services. We're in a world whereby we have lots of competitors. We have a whole lot of brand names in various industries and sectors doing almost the same thing. How will your brand stand out amongst all other competitors? It is how effective you've been able to communicate your brand values, your brand identity, your brand message to your audience, to your customers, to your clients and prospects. That is when they can, recall your brand name first amongst every other competitors. That is what effective brand communication does, right? It helps them realize that they need your product or service in the first place. Because sometimes customers, yes, they know what they want, but most times they might not even have an idea of that very product or service they are really in need of. But when you as a brand, you as a company, you as a business, you've been able to effectively communicate your brand message, right, to your target audience, they will be able to decipher, oh, I think I need this product, I think I need this service at that very moment when they are trying to make a purchase decision. That is what brand communication does, right? It aids brand recall, brand retention, and brand recognition. Moving on, people. How do we then build and create a brand communication strategy that is effective and its own? On this episode, I'll be sharing the core elements of effective brand communication, its benefits, and actionable steps to crafting a strategy that makes your brand stand out. Right. I was talking about effective communication the other time, right? If there is effective communication, that means there can also be an ineffective communication. If there is a brand who clearly states their brand goals, brand message, brand values, brand identity, there are other brands that they are doing it ineffectively. And that is why clients, customers, and prospects would choose the brand that effectively communicates their goals other than the one that does not communicate effectively, right? So let's dive into effective brand communication. Effective brand communication is how a company clearly shares its identity. I want us to underline clearly. You see that clearly? That's the most important word in everything I'm saying right now. Not a confused kind of communication, a clear kind of communication, because customers don't want to be stressed. There are a whole lot of people doing the same thing. Why should I pick your brand? You have to stand out. You have to be able to give me reasons to choose you. So if you are confused, my darling, I will go to the next person who has stated their identity so clear. That is what effective brand communication does, right? So it is how a company clearly shares its identity, values, message with the world, right? It ensures that every single interaction, from social media posts to ads to customer service experience, tells a consistent and compelling story. The aim and goal is to connect with people, earn their trust, and turn them into loyal fans, loyal clients, loyal customers, and loyal consumers, right? That is what effective brand communication does to your brand. That is what it does to your company and your business. When it is done right, effective brand communication, it is not just about selling products or services. It's about building a genuine relationship with your audience, right? I would like to dwell a little more on this. We brand owners, we business owners, right? We like to basically, dwell on the fact that, okay, we want our customers to just pay for our products and services and, it's fare well. If you only do that in business, my darling, your customers and prospects would probably prefer to go to a competitor who accommodates them more. I'm trying to take my time on this because I want us to really have a grasp of what I'm saying here, right? Let's take, for instance, there's a business owner who just wants customers and wants to make money, right? Just pay and go. And there's someone else who has taken time to build a connection. I'm talking about business connection here, please. A business connection with their clients. My darling, the clients would always come back. And in that way, you've been able to retain your clients. You've turned them into a loyal client. They will come back. As a matter of fact, they will tell more people about you. They will tell more people about what you do. Either you sell products or you offer services. That is what effective brand communication does, right? It shows you value your customers. You don't just want to take their money and, keep in your pockets and move on to the next customer. You will be losing customers when you do that. So have a genuine connection with your target audience. It will turn them into loyal fans, loyal clients, and loyal consumers. So effective brand communication is also about building a genuine relationship with your audience, which in turn will lead to long-term trust and loyalty, turning one-time buyers into passionate brand advocates.